My hairstylist is taking and keeping my hair. That sounds like the opening of a serial killer documentary. This will be fun. This story came November 24th, 2024. I'm weirded out. I'm also going to be vague because obvious reasons. I'm 30s female and the stylist is 40s. I got my hair cut today at a stylist I've been using for about 9 months now. I think this is my 6th appointment with them. I usually do a trim or cut and style. Today I went from long hair, high lower back, to an A-line bob. Again, since I started seeing this person, I usually get current style maintenance and a trim. This time was a dramatic length adjustment, so they took a picture of the cut length in the floor to add to their social media, then intending to add before and after pictures too. That is all totally fine and normal. Yes, a lot of hairstylists do that on social media. They go grab a broom, sweep up my hair, and place the dustpan on the counter for a bit. Again, normal. They grab the broom and pan and head to the back of the shop. They're gone for a few minutes, no biggie. Then they go out for a smoke. But here's where it gets weird. The bathroom is in the back of the shop too. I need to go, and so I step into the back. I don't really notice anything on the way into the bathroom, so I go and then I start to head back out. But I notice my name on a small clear tote on the table. It has no lid. And it has my hair in it. Like a container with your name and your hair. Ooh, that is so weird. That is so weird. At first, I didn't really think much of it, but I looked closer and I saw it's not just today's discarded hair, but it looks like at least a few of my trim sessions. Mixed with, it looks like potpourri and a little sand or something, and printed pictures of the cut hair with dates. The printer is sitting right next to it with today's discarded hair pick in the tray. There didn't seem to be any other containers like this when I looked around. Oh, so very much just you. It was so effing weird, so I took a picture of it on my phone. I honestly didn't know what to think or do, and I went back out into the salon. They came back in, and I mentioned that I went to the restroom, and they seemed a little freaked out, but they did not mention it. I didn't really know what to say, so I just let them finish styling my hair. I paid and I left. As a socially anxious introvert, this is my nightmare. I got home and the more I looked at this picture, the more ick I got. I ended up texting them an hour ago, sending the picture and requesting they remove the weird box of me and also asking for an explanation. I said, hey, so I saw this and I didn't know what to make out of it. Can you help me understand what this is and why you have it? I'm not comfortable with you having this and I request that you please discard of the contents. Also, even though I loved my cut, I believe it's best that I find a different stylist. They haven't responded. That confrontation makes me have anxiety. For you. We have an update and it came 1 week later. It's been about a week, and with the holiday, I am all over the place, but I ended up going to law enforcement to make a report last Monday. I will likely end up going back if this person keeps contacting me like they have been. A lot has happened since my last post. Sunday, the day after it happened, I woke up to a bunch of texts from the stylist. It woke me up because even though I have Do Not Disturb on my phone, I have a setting that overrides that if there are repeated contact attempts over 3 in case of emergencies. Here's what I got. Copy and pasted. So these are the text messages from the stylist. 3:49 a.m. I don't recommend going to try a different stylist because of this. It's not a big deal in small towns and people talk, and you may not find anyone that will take you after this. So I would reconsider. I don't like threats. I don't like people who keep my hair in a bin with my name on it. 3:51 a.m. So I have your biological material and it's my property now. I can do what I want with it. I kept it because I can, and it means a lot to me. Oh, it's giving Jeffrey Dahmer. 3:54 a.m. Why did you send the picture? I know what it looks like. It's mine. 4 a.m. You need to respond to me because I think it's a misunderstanding about what this is. It's not a big deal, and you saying you are switching stylists has me triggered. I do good work. You said so. 4:04 a.m. I also charge a $350 client separation fee. So yeah, you can't just say you're switching stylists without consequences. And I know you said you already tried a few people before me. There's not many beauty people in the area. 4:11 a.m. Asking for an explanation for a stylist having hair in a salon is crazy. Where else would you find hair? I didn't do nothing wrong, but I will get rid of it if you are gonna cry about it. But only if you say you won't be switching to anyone else for your hair care. You mean a lot as a client and always tip well, and I do good work, so it doesn't make sense and you know that. So maybe don't threaten someone who does your hair or hurt their heart by making accusatory statements. That is the most bizarre set of messages. The switch up, oh, creepy. I didn't respond to any of those that morning because it was so insane to me. I need to process things fully before I make a decision on how to deal with it. So I just didn't respond. Sunday afternoon, I start getting phone calls. This person called me 14 times that afternoon. About every other call, they left a voicemail. Most of the voicemails just said, call me back or text me back, but 2 of them were unhinged. I'm going to paraphrase, but the gist of the first one was, and it sounds like they're crying, call me back. I'm getting scared you won't come back to me for your hair for real. I just like how your hair feels. That's why I kept it. Call me. I'm creeped out. The second unhinged message was left late Sunday night at 11:38 p.m. and it said, I got rid of it except for one lock. I found out I like watching your hair burn more than I like keeping it. I didn't respond to any of those messages, calls, or texts. The whole thing had me freaked out now. I've decided by that time that I was taking Monday off work to go to the police. Even if they couldn't do anything, I wanted to file a report just due to the weirdness. I woke up Monday to an email from the stylist with an invoice of $375 for client breach of contract fee as the chargeable line item, and the email body was just, quote, for being a bitch. It was sent from their business email too, so they're fully doing everything they can to ruin themselves. Even if I had a contract with this nutter, which I don't, the original amount they said was $350. They can't even get their extortion fees right. I did email them back stating that we have no contract and to cease all further communication with me from this point forward. I got ready and I started heading to the police station around 9:45 Monday morning. I live in a rural area, so there are portions of my drive to and from our main town that doesn't have cell reception. When I finally got to town, I had 4 voicemails. I knew immediately who they were from. I talked to one of the officers on staff. They took my statement, a copy of the email, and asked me to forward all the texts and screenshots of the numbers of calls. They said at the least the calls and texts could be considered menacing and harassment, but the voicemail where they mentioned how they like burning my hair was potentially concerning. The officer advised I contact a legal representative in case this person tries to take the bogus invoice to a civil suit court. And they said I am welcome to change my number, but having the piling evidence if they continue to contact me after I explicitly told them not to in the email would only help me. See, that's the worst part. All of that helps you build a case, but you're like, I don't want them to contact me though. I reached out to a lawyer on Tuesday and I left a detailed message regarding the situation. They are apparently out of office until next Wednesday for the holiday, so we will see if they have any advice. I have since received many texts and calls from the stylist. They sent a Happy Thanksgiving text on Thursday morning as well. Regardless, they are giving me a lot of evidence material to work with, but I am still so unsettled. I can't wait to hear from the lawyer this week. I can't wait for you to hear from the lawyer this week. Then we have a mini update, which came a week later. We are now at December 8th, 2024. I woke up to a lot of new comments and requests for updates. Firstly, I am okay and I'm safe for now. The person has continued to contact me on a regular basis via phone and email. I do have personal protection that I'm comfortable with and can wield with accuracy. But I'm nearly certain this person does not know where I live, so I don't anticipate any type of confrontation here. Our house and property has complete camera coverage as well. If anything or anyone shows up, we are well aware. I will be posting a more in-depth update with more texts and emails up to this point and regarding a specific incident that happened on Friday on Tuesday. I have an appointment to speak with another officer, then to discuss the potential of criminal action and legal consequences for the stylist as a result. Thank you all for your concern and the validation that this is absolutely insane. I will leave you with a text from this past week. It came on December 4th at 5:12 a.m. Don't never say never. You are never coming back. Don't make me laugh. I don't want your ass back. You can beg me though. It might help. Creepy. Why do people gotta be weird? Why? Anyways, before we continue on this very strange journey we are on here together, we're gonna hydrate. It's hydration station. Drink your water. Or don't. I don't care. I do care. That's why I'm telling you to drink your water. Okay? Try to help. You guys will be happy to know that we finally started taking down all our Christmas decorations. Yes. Some of you said you don't take yours down till the end of January. So here I am. I was just trying to enjoy the Christmas spirit, but it's going away. We're moving on. All right, so the next update was 4 days later, December 12th. I met with the law enforcement again this past Tuesday. My husband and I drove over early that morning because I was also meeting up with the lawyer that I'm working with. Aside from the near constant texts, calls, emails, I wanted to pursue legal action for a specific issue. Allegedly, the stylist had tried to have my credit card canceled. Apparently they used the last 4 digits of my card, called the customer service line for the card, and tried to cancel it. I got a call from the fraud department shortly after this person attempted to do this, trying to verify everything to see if I actually wanted to close my account and dissolve my credit line with them. To be clear, this stylist was not successful in their alleged attempt. They couldn't provide the basic information that you need for such things, like my actual last name. It's an unusual one, and they gave a name that was almost similar. Your date of birth, address, etc. Apparently, they thought that they could accomplish this with just my name, phone number, and the last 4 digits of the card number. I didn't cancel the card, but I did request a new one for obvious reasons. I had no clue why they would want to cancel my card. To inconvenience me? Yes, that is exactly why. Allegedly. When I spoke with the credit card company, they agreed to send over the recording of the person that called, as well as the phone number the call originated from, as long as the request came from law enforcement with a warrant. They gave me a phone number and reference number for the police to reach out to directly. The officer began working on that immediately, so that is in progress. I went to my phone company over the weekend. I had my phone number transferred to an old phone so I could still receive calls and texts there, but I got a new phone number for my actual phone. That's genius. Still gets your evidence, but also you don't have to necessarily pay attention to it and you got your regular phone. I'm so jealous of smart people. The old phone and phone number has been turned over to the officer assigned to the case. They did go and speak with this person yesterday. Apparently they were horrified. I went to the police and I had no idea any of their crazy could be chargeable offenses. According to the officer, there have been no further communications via text or call since their visit, and I haven't received any other emails. A temporary protection and no contact order has been issued against them until the first court date. I have also reached out to the State Board of Licensing with all this information and my complaints. All I can say is they are investigating. Outside of that information, I am limited on any other information I can share since a legal process against this person has officially begun. We're just waiting to see how all of this plays out now. It's been a long few weeks. I'm hoping for the best here. I am already so relieved to no longer be getting calls, texts, or emails constantly. And the good news for us is we have a final update that came over a year later, January 14th, 2026. We're gonna get the gossip. What happened in all of this chaos? The lawsuit. Oh, I'm so excited. It's like reading, it's like when you finish a book, you know, the end of the story. I feel like that's the best part. You need the ending. It has to be concluded. I've been reluctant to revisit any of this for a few reasons, all selfish. In general, none of what happened over the last year or so was fun. There was a legal process in which I was granted a 1-year restraining order against the stylist. This process took a while to get to court and be heard, with continuations for various reasons. But here's the gist of what happened. The stylist showed up to all the court proceedings, had a variety of allegedly fabricated evidence to show the court that I was the one harassing them. They had supposed screenshots of texts from my number threatening to harm them, calling them names, threatening to show up at their business and burn it down. The issue with this evidence? The phone number the texts were coming from was on a phone that was in the possession of the officer in my case. I had already gotten a new phone number by the time these texts were allegedly being sent. The officer had a certified readout of the phone's activity while in his position, and no calls or texts were outgoing after I surrendered that phone. There were none. The stylist seemed very surprised with that information. I don't think they ever considered that I might get a new phone or phone number. The stylist implied that I had someone else do it, or that I spoofed it from my new number and tried to demand my new number as part of the discovery of evidence. That was not granted. I did have to have law enforcement do another certified review of my current phone, and to protect us further, my husband's phone as well, showing that I or anyone I was in contact with had not downloaded any spoofing software to use against this person or attempt to contact them. That felt icky, but it was necessary and also very validating. They did have a lawyer, but the lawyer seemed very cowed. I really believe the representation was not confident in their case, especially with the texts and calls this person was said to have received. The tone, grammar, and language used in these communications were not native to the way I speak or text. I hate text speak and I rarely use it, especially with anyone I'm not intimately familiar with. Evidence they presented with the text was riddled with it. I do use slang bestie, but if I don't know you well, you're getting my customer service communications. All that to say, whomever was sending those texts was not me. I don't care to speculate about who did send them or if it was photoshopped, but they read like bad cop dramas. Ultimately, the bench trial was in my favor. The stylist was given no contact with a 1-year restraining order, ordered to pay all of my legal fees, and a small monetary amount. To date, that has not been settled. On to the aftermath. A few weeks went by and things took a turn. Random notes on my car would pop up when I would go to grocery shopping about what a betch I am and that I will get what's coming to me. Vehicles slowing down in front of our house and throwing eggs, or honking their horn over and over in the middle of the night. I'm not stupid, I know who it is. And now they have my home address with all the restraining order filings. we're gonna need to pack up and move, girlfriend. Thankfully, I have cameras everywhere on my property. So I would call the cops. They said they would look into it and then it would just continue. My tire got slashed when I was at dinner with my husband. The restaurant did not have any cameras at an angle that would show us who, but I have a good idea. Their salon location was only 2.5 blocks away. Small towns can be great until everyone and their mama knows where you are when you're in town. This goes on for months. We make a report for each and every instance and occurrence. Finally, the cops really started looking into it more. We gave them everything we had. The car on our footage was not registered to the stylist. When the cops went knocking at the owner's house, they claimed that they were paid to go, quote, piss off this bitch by the stylist, but thought it was just a prank situation. They were cited for vandalism and disturbing the peace and were trespassed from our property. The car was never near our property again after that. The stylist was brought in for violating the restraining order. I thought it would be over, and it was essentially a slap on the wrist. The cycle then continues. The stylist finally spends a few nights in jail after the 5th or 6th instance of the RO violation. The stylist files a lawsuit for defamation of character against me for, get this, $200,000. According to the stylist, my defamatory remarks cost them their clientele and their license. I didn't know it, but their license had been suspended. I guess my report to the licensing bureau worked. The stylist claimed I cost them their yearly salary of $200,000 and demanded reparations for defamation, claiming that my restraining order was granted under false evidence and cost them their reputation and livelihood. I contacted my lawyer again and we started our defense. My lawyer does all the lawyer things. I'm advised I can countersue at this point, but I just want everything to be over. The case doesn't see a judge for a while. We go, both sides are heard. The case is dropped without prejudice. At this point, we have had enough. Once the restraining order is up for renewal, we make a different choice. We moved. Thank God. We sold our house, traded in our old cars, and we dipped. I didn't want this person to ever have access to me or mine again. It has been 5 months in our new home and things have been exponentially more peaceful, but I'm so pissed off that it made us move. I loved our house, our community, and the area we lived in. So that is it. That is the update. This might be one of the craziest stories I've actually ever read on this channel. Like, so random. Who knew a haircut would lead to this? I truly don't even know I've said it all. I've said my piece throughout this. So let me know what you guys think. I'll see you in the comment section. Stay classy out there. Stay sassy.